Good afternoon and welcome to Airports Live TV with me, Adam James. We are live once again from Alicante, Elche Miguel Hernandez Airport over here in the Costa Blanca. It has been the most glorious day until about 3 minutes ago. The heavens opened. I have got everything waterproof today apart from myself. All the equipment should be fine for today, so fingers crossed we get a good stream. I hope you're all having a fantastic Monday. If you are in the UK, happy bank holiday to you guys. I will come back to my chat in a second. I've just noticed there's one bit of my equipment that isn't quite protected, so I just want to get that done. And then I want to start today's stream a little bit differently to how we usually begin. I want to talk about some airline news. The first one of which, for all you rugby fans, Aer Lingus have announced they are running an additional route from Shannon to Charles de Gaulle to coincide with the Rugby World Cup this year. They are, of course, the official partners of the Irish Rugby. So they are putting on the additional routes. It will run, I think it's every Friday and Saturday, from Shannon over to Charles de Gaulle until the end of the World Cup. I think it begins in September, is it? So they will be running that additional flight. And then there is something else I want to talk about. It's a new UK startup airline, and this is interesting. I think it's big news for the world of aviation, definitely big news for the world of transatlantic aviation, and we're going to touch on that in a few moments time. However, before we do that, I can see that we do have a flight on its final approach now. How are we doing, Dashcam? How are we doing, Brucey boy? I'm still in shock trying to get over the foul language and threats I received after offering the good gesture of a birthday cake for Deb's big 40. I know, Dashcam. I received a message as well from her threatening me. It's not on at all. We are going to go over and have a chat about this latest news from a UK startup in a few minutes, but before we do that, we have this Vueling operated Airbus A320 coming in from Brussels, departed 2 hours and 2 minutes ago. It's a 15-year-old aircraft registered in April of 2008, and there she is. She's just coming into shot now. I think I've over waterproofed here. I've not got full movement on my camera, so I need to adjust some things. But here we go, the first flight of the live. I am getting wet, by the way, while we're stood here streaming. So do hit that thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done it. I don't mind standing here in the rain though, because it's nice and warm. It's actually refreshing being in this rain. There we go, that A320 touching down nice and safely into Alicante International this afternoon. Coming in after just over a 2-hour flight from Brussels. And then we will get this departure, and then I'm going to tell you this news. Now, it may not be new news to some of you, but it is new to me. I haven't seen this until today. Got no flight info on flight radar regarding this departure, so we're just going to have to go blind with it. Here she goes. Beautiful Transavia. I do like this livery. And there you go, she's up and away. Right. Where should we go? Where should we go? Let's have a look here. Waiting to board their flight as the rain starts to come down here. A big up Dashcam, thank you for that super chat, it's greatly appreciated. It will help me stay hydrated. I have just pinned a comment from Dashcam telling you all to head over and follow our new Twitter. We have got something extremely exciting to announce on there. I'm not telling you when, I'm not telling you what it is, but you will see it. John Dowling, how are we doing, my man? He says, is the news that Ryanair is going to order 200 Boeing 787s for trips to London? It is not. The news that I've seen today, I think this is exciting. I think this is going to be something that needs to be closely monitored over the next 12 months or so. But a UK startup called Global Airlines have acquired an Airbus A380. Now, this is a brand new startup, but it isn't from somebody who knows nothing about the travel industry. And the reason I think this is interesting is we're seeing so many big, major, well-known carriers starting to move away from the Airbus A380, indeed starting to use narrow-body aircraft more and more frequently on transatlantic routes. And that's something that you've heard me speak about time and time again, that I think is quite sad that we're seeing this happening. I think it's taken away the how iconic transatlantic travel is, because as much as it has become quite normal, it should still be seen as something exciting and one of those things that we should really look forward to growing up, and even as adults, as aviation fans. So I do think it is extremely interesting that a new UK startup have decided to acquire an A380. Now, it doesn't stop there, because more interestingly, they've actually bought the Airbus A380. It's not a leased aircraft. They have gone feet first into this. They've acquired it and actually bought it. Now, I find that interesting. This person, or the group, the investors behind this startup are not new to the industry. Now, what they say is they plan to conduct transatlantic service from London by the spring of next year, so within the next 12 months, and they're going to deploy the A380 to the US. That is going to make them the first new airline to take on an A380 outright in the last 8 years. Again, an interesting twist. And what makes this all the more interesting is the person behind it. The founder and chief exec is a man called James Asquith. Now, for those of you that think, well, I remember the name, but I'm not sure where from, he is behind another travel-based business. I'm just trying to remember, I'm just trying to find, because I don't want to give you the wrong name. He's behind, let me just go a little bit more about where this aircraft is coming in from. They've actually acquired it from Doric Aviation, who are to all intents and purposes, they're a finance company that specialise in the aviation industry. Now, what makes that interesting is possibly they have found this as, they haven't released how much they paid for it, and I think that possibly it is I suppose there's potential for it to be a repossessed or a cancelled order. But James Asquith is behind, I can't find the company name now. I believe the company name is Holiday Swap, and it's basically an online marketplace where people can swap their houses while they go on holiday. Now, I remember when he launched that business, and everybody said he was mental. Nobody would go with it. Nobody would want strangers in the houses, X, Y, and Z. And people accused him of being absolutely ludicrous, and it was a sort of thing that if he'd gone on the Dragon's Den with it, would have probably been laughed out. However, it has turned into an extremely successful business. Now, this is where it gets exciting. We all know on a transatlantic flight, you tend to have economy, premium economy, business, and first. They're the 4 classes that you tend to have on board, and what we all think of as a transatlantic flight. Now, global airlines are indeed continuing on with that tradition. However, can any of you guess what the twist here is? What is the twist? Holiday Swap, that's the one. Can any of you guess what the twist is? What else are they going to add in addition to premium? Economy, premium economy, business, and first. What are they going to add? Because this is where it gets interesting, and this is where I think they have potentially found a huge market that could really play into the hands of transatlantic travel. While I wait for you to get a guess or two in, our next departure is this Norwegian operated Boeing 737 with the Bjornson livery. We saw this for the last couple of streams as well. It's heading over to Stavanger. Scum class? Nope. They are adding a luxury gaming class. Now, from what I'm reading and from what I'm found when I've done a little bit of digging on this concept was floated about almost as a gimmick and a joke before COVID, not by James Asquith and not by Global Airlines. They are, of course, a UK startup, which is again an exciting new venture. But they're looking at putting a luxury cabin onto the A380 that will give people access to PlayStations and Xboxes that will be live linked, so they will have internet access so that they can play live whilst they are transatlantic. Now, for me, this is interesting because this is a market that has never been tapped. First class and business class typically aim themselves at what, 35 plus as in terms of a general wide general demographic. This brings premium flights to a younger market. Now, given the way that life has changed over the last decade or so, I think this is a market that can really benefit airlines. More and more people are living at home for a lot longer in their life, and I know people will say it's because they can't afford to move out and all of that, and that is true to an extent. But another reason being that people are deciding to put granny flats on, and you know what, just waiting for mum and dad to pop the clogs, and they've got the house anyway. That is what's happening, let's be real. And people do have that higher level of disposable income, especially from within the gaming community. Let's speak facts now. There is big money to be earned from gaming. Now, if you can combine that with being able to live stream gaming from on board an A380, your views will skyrocket. So that's a little bit of exciting news that are coming out of the UK today, that Global Airlines have acquired an Airbus A380 aiming to be offering transatlantic routes direct from London by spring of next year. Of course, the other piece of news coming out of Ireland in recent days is that Aer Lingus are offering that Rugby World Cup special route from Shannon over to Charles de Gaulle throughout this year's Rugby World Cup. How are we doing, Val? Debs is protesting today, boycotting the stream. She's probably getting ready for her 40th dash cam. Our next arrival is coming in from Milan. She's Ryanair operated. It's a Boeing 737, an hour and 47-minute flight this afternoon from Milan. One of the older 737s on the Ryanair fleet, first registered in March of 2005. And here she is. She's coming in hot. She's down like puffing a magic dragon, puffing that smoke out of those rear tyres, but she's down safely all the same after that journey over from Milan. Correction on departures. Our next departure isn't going to be that Norwegian. The next departure is going to be a Ryanair, but I can't get you any flight details because it's not showing up yet again on Flight Radar. It is looking like the next departure is going to be the Ryanair. It is. I'll be coming back to my chat in a little while. Just while we're keeping everything dry, I'm going to have to keep on putting the chat phone in my pocket. Here she goes. I had an absolutely amazing meal last night. I went Turkish. Got a mixed kebab platter, chicken shish kebab, a lamb shish kebab, and an Adana kebab. Oh, and a kofta. I apologise, there was a kofta on there as well. It's absolutely amazing. I do like Turkish food. Had a bite of lunch today on the way to do this stream as well. I had a nice fresh baguette, just with some garlic and tomato on it. Was nice and refreshing. Here we go, now we've got the Norwegian on departure. I'm going to come back, have a quick look at my chat. How are we doing, Neve B? How are we doing, Robert Doyle? I hope you're well, buddy. All good here. A dash cam, I think the gesture is nice, and I think you have to follow through with that gesture. You know what some people are like around their birthdays, they don't really like to make too much of a fuss, and maybe that's what she's like. But I think that the birthday cake was a great idea, and I think you should go through with it. Here she goes. She's up and away into those beautiful blue skies over the coast of the Costa Blanca. Hopefully the blue skies continue to come this way. The rain has stopped at the moment. I don't want to take all the waterproofing off though, just in case it starts again. The only issue I've got with having the waterproof equipment covers on here is I'm concerned that it's potentially going to make my laptop overheat, and then the stream will end, but we'll just have to wait and see. Still got a couple lined up for departure here. We've got one on arrival as well. Our next departure is heading over to Kortrijk. It's a Cessna 525 Citation CJ4 operated by Lux Aviation Belgium. First registered in January of 2022. This one will be up and away and nice and early along this runway. There she is, you can just about see her. Here she goes. Apologies for the ropey camera work there. They're not easy to keep in shot. Here we go, next up we have this Ryanair flight. It's a Boeing 737 coming in from Tetuan. I believe that's in Morocco now. A 48-minute flight this afternoon. 15-year-old, first registered in December of 2007. I'm going to be coming back to my chat straight after the next departure, which is going to be a Vueling. There she is, down and nice and safely. Okay, next up we've got this Vueling operated Airbus A320 heading over to Copenhagen. First registered in November of 2015. So just, what, 7.5 years old now, this aircraft. Yes guys, don't forget, if you are enjoying the stream, please hit that like button, please hit the subscribe button, it helps us massively. We need to trigger the algorithm again. We've plummeted out of this algorithm for whatever reason. We need to get these views back up. The only way we can do that is with your help. We need you hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button, sharing the live to any Facebook groups that you're part of. Here we go. There we go, she's up and away. What are your thoughts on the thumbnail today? We tried something a little bit different because we're trying to, like I say, re-trigger the algorithm, but I don't know. We've tried something a little bit more gimmicky. I don't know what's happening with my camera. If you noticed, it's really jerky at the minute. Might be a bit better. Yeah, Robert, it's not massively busy. It sort of has its busy spells. Unfortunately, the busy spells have been coinciding with bad weather that's been forecasted, which, touch wood, hasn't actually arrived to the extent that they forecast. But it has sort of hindered the planned streams. Hello, how's Louise? Just booked a flight to Mallorca for the 1st of August for a week. Where are you heading to, Louise? But yeah, I do agree with you, Robert. The level of movement here isn't really quite high enough for our style of streaming. However, that being said, it's sort of trying to weigh up that fine balance. We've got a beautiful streaming location in terms of we're in the sun. It's beautiful here in Spain at the moment, but also in terms of our actual physical location for broadcasting. We've got an almost completely unobstructed view. We have had nothing but a welcoming experience from Alicante Airport and Aena. It's a pleasure to be broadcasting from here. So we sort of have to weigh these things up. I do now know from Ian, one of our viewers, that Madrid have very recently opened a new spotters area. So we will head up there in the near future and have a look at that. Don't know, I just booked it, literally coming from Croke Park, and my mum was like, would you like to Mallorca? I said, yes please. Oh, is Debs with us now? Yes. The abuse that Debs has been sending to me and Dashcam, it's unacceptable. I agree, Dashcam. We have decided as well, we are going to run we're going to run a pilot of the new series that was suggested, or somebody gave us the inspiration for a few days ago, when they asked the question about how much revenue is generated by Alicante Airport, where that revenue comes from, and their question directly was, what percentage of Alicante's annual revenue is generated directly and indeed indirectly by Ryanair? And we're going to run that as a little series. We're going to look at some individual airports around the world and do a little bit of investigative journalism and see what we can find out, because when they asked that question, it's obviously something I didn't know the answer to. But I think it will be interesting to see just how much revenue is generated directly and indirectly by Ryanair. They are, of course, Europe's biggest low-cost airline. There is nobody bigger than them in Europe. And I just think it would be interesting to see how much airports rely on Ryanair, whether that be in terms of landing fees, whether it be in terms of passenger numbers and average spend per passenger within the terminals themselves. Around Europe, it's going to be interesting to see. Darren, how are we doing? Welcome. See you later, Dashcam. You take safety. If you've got a 9:35 morning flight, there is every chance that you will indeed be on the new North Runway out of Dublin. So we've got a pair of Ryanairs ready for taxi now. One there, 737 I believe. Let's have a quick look at this EasyJet. Who remembers the old TV show Airline with Stelios and EasyJet? It's probably back in the 90s I believe, was it? Debs, I haven't covered you in eggs or flour. Dashcam, I've just missed a landing because of you, Debs. Dashcam kindly offered to provide a birthday cake for one of our mods. Now, who am I to say no? Do not give our mods a birthday cake. And just to put a little bit of clarity on, you do make cakes out of eggs and flour, so that's all he's providing. Okay, the first of our Ryanairs now on taxi. That Air Europa ATR 72-500 was the arrival that unfortunately we did miss because I was too busy in my comments. If you are new here, that's what sets us apart. The community really do come first here at Airports Live TV. We're about providing a safe environment for aviation and travel lovers to come together, have a chat, have a bit of a laugh, a bit of banter with me, and the aviation there in the background. What more could you want? We are by far the most interactive live aviation community here on YouTube. No paywalls here either. Yes, we appreciate memberships. Yes, we appreciate super chats and super stickers because they all help us to continue to deliver content from around the world. However, we value every single person the same, whether you're a subscriber, whether you're a member, or whether you are just sat in the chat and watching away. We value each and every one of you. We don't put members only live streams on. We don't put members only chats on because that is just not right. Here we go, the first of our Ryanairs. We've got the Icelandair on taxi as well. This one's heading over to Aberdeen. This Boeing 737 MAX. It's going to be Ryanair, Icelandair, Ryanair by the looks of things. Our Icelandair is another 737 MAX. This one's heading over to Reykjavik. The sun is beaming down on me now. It's like EasyJet's pushing back as well, so we're going to have a few minutes of action coming up here at Alicante. No less than 4 on taxi, or 3 on taxi, 1 on pushback at the moment. We've got Aberdeen, we've got Reykjavik, both 737 Maxes. Let's wait for the second of our Ryanair fleet. This one, a 737 heading over to Manchester. And then we will have the EasyJet. She has just been pushed back. We'll have a quick look whilst we wait for the Aberdeen flight to line up. Your EasyJet's an Airbus A320. She's heading over to London Gatwick. So we've got Aberdeen, we've got Reykjavik, we've got Manchester, and then we have EasyJet with their A320 heading over to Aberdeen. first of these 4 departures and now lining up and ready to go. She's heading over to Aberdeen, this Boeing 737 MAX. You're watching us live here from Alicante. We're Airports Live TV. I'm Adam James. If you've got any questions, drop them in the chat and we will do our best to answer anything that you ask us. Whilst you're doing that, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get pushing this broadcast back out to the numbers and to the masses of where it should be. Here she goes. Don't forget, as always, we are brought to you in proud partnership with Booking.com, travel supermarket and on the beach holidays, as well as our exclusive travel club partner UTC. Using code ALTV59 you will receive a 12-month full membership for our travel club over at ultimatetravelclub.com/airports-live-tv, where you will save, on average, we saw over 2,500 test bookings of 27% savings across the board. Now those savings are against major travel booking platforms. They're not overinflated prices and then discounted down. They have been done against the likes of Booking.com, Expedia, Trivago, all of those places. Do check them out. All the info is available at airportslivetv.com. Aberdeen is gone. Reykjavik getting ready to go now. This is the second of our 737 MAXes. Then we've got a 737 and an A320 coming up. At the green bar now. I know we're getting towards that goal. And just to be clear on that, because I do like to be transparent, when we did have to buy all that new equipment, we didn't put the full value of the equipment there as the goal. We spent over €3,000 just over a week ago to replace damaged equipment from streaming in the rain, and that's what we've set as a goal. Every little helps. Here we go, this 737 MAX heading over to Reykjavik. Operated by Icelandair. One of the few airlines in Europe that I haven't actually flown with Icelandair. And there you go, she's up and away. Got our Manchester flight lined up. Let's just pick up this A320 as she taxis on by. Something we don't see over in Dublin. The old EasyJet. Never quite delivered on what I think Stalias's plans were in the early days of becoming the leading budget airline. They just couldn't quite achieve it. Never got within reach of Ryanair, really. Drop me a message, Debs. For those of you that are interested in coming on the community getaway, we are heading over to the sunny Benal Medina on the 28th of September of this year. There's the option of 3 or 4 nights. We will be there for the full 4 nights. We'll probably be there for a week, to be fair. We're staying in the 4-star Benalmar Hotel, also known as the Hotel Palladium. Got an absolutely stunning sky lounge there overlooking the Costa del Sol. Sorry guys, just making sure I got that shot overlooking the sunny Costa del Sol. It's recently refurbished. The hotel is absolutely stunning. We priced it, you will have to double check the prices because this was correct at the time of pricing. But we priced it from Dublin, Manchester, and I believe London Gatwick, all coming in at similar prices. Dublin was flying with Aer Lingus. I believe the UK was flying with EasyJet. I think it was £370 or thereabouts for 4 nights. Does include your transfers from the airport. You'll get the chance to come and do a couple of streaming sessions with us so you can see what it's like behind the scenes. Of course you get to meet me. Probably going to be a bit of karaoke too. You never know. Karaoke's always on the cards when I'm there. Yeah, there was airline, wasn't there? And then there was airport, and they did a spin-off of airport. Was it called Holiday Airport? I believe it was in Cyprus. Our next departure is heading to London Gatwick. It's that Airbus A320 operated by EasyJet. However, in the meantime, we have an arrival on its final stages of descent now into a beautifully sunny Alicante airport, coming in from Stansted. About a 2-hour and 13-minute flight this afternoon over from Stansted. She's operated by Ryanair. One of the older 737s on the fleet, 15 years old, registered in October of 2007. She is delayed. She was expected to arrive at 4:05 this afternoon. She's going to be arriving around 40 minutes late. She did actually have an hour late departure though, so she's made up a little bit of time. Got a viewing on taxi as well. Karaoke, I do like a bit of karaoke. You do the karaoke and you turn around. Oh no, that's the Okie Kokie, isn't it? Speaking of karaoke, I found a bar. I found more than one bar, but this bar that I'm going to tell you about in a minute, not only has it got karaoke with a huge stage, almost a show bar style layout inside, reminds me of the good old days. It's also got a 2-lane bowling alley in it. She's inside. Now when I say 2-lane bowling, it is almost mini bowling, you know, the ones that are on strings, but they're quite long lanes. It's only £2 a game as well. There we go, that 737 touching down around 40 minutes late this afternoon from Stansted. With some passengers on there that are a little bit annoyed that they're 40 minutes late landing, but little do they know 40 minutes ago they would have been getting off that plane into rain. Our A320 getting ready to head over to London Gatwick now. He's lining up, operated by EasyJet. And then we've got that Vueling. Well, looks like a 737 in front of me. Let's pick up EasyJet's departure. I need to get a drink. I can feel myself starting to get a little bit dehydrated. Do apologise, I don't know what aircraft I was looking at. It's an Airbus A320. It's heading over to Barcelona, Bilbao. I can't remember, I've just looked and I've forgotten. Here we go though, this one's heading to London Gatwick. I really need a drink. There you go, she's up and away. So watch that landing gear being stowed. Safely away. We'll get back to that fueling in a second. Let me just grab a quick swill of water. The Airbus A320 will be holding because we do have an arrival on its way in, coming in from Bristol. It's another Boeing 737 operated by Ryanair. An even older aircraft this time, approaching 19 years old. There she is, down safely. Let's get back for this fueling departure. It is an absolute scorcher here now. We needed that little bit of rain just to clear the air. Wow, she's a scorcher. She's heading over to Bilbao, this A320. 8 years old, registered in April of 2015. You two Debs, take care. Say hello to Captain Shane from all of us here at Airports Live TV as well. Here we go, this A320 about to begin its journey over to Bilbao. This would in fact be one of the domestic flights that would be banned if we were in France right now. Because I'm fairly certain you can get from Alicante to Bilbao in around 2.5 hours by rail, or I'm assuming it'll be close to that. It's an interesting move that France have done. Right, what have we got happening? Let's have a look at this Ryanair for now, then we'll get that one disembarking, and then he's just on its way back in. If you haven't already done it, guys, please do hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button as well. It helps us massively, it costs you nada. This, of course, is a bonus stream today. We didn't have a stream planned for today, but the weather seemed okay until it, obviously, the heavens opened. Seemed okay, so I thought we'd nip over, we'd do a quick stream. It is going to be a quick stream though. Tomorrow we are back to normal. We're going to be pushing through a 2-hour stream tomorrow. I need to have a look and see the time, because I do want to time it with the busiest 2-hour period here at Alicante Airport. We've got a few days left here, then it's a quick hop back over to Dublin for a few days, and then we are on the road again. It's a busy summer for us here at Airports Live TV, and it's an absolute pleasure bringing each and every one of you along with us. That one's just about ready to go. Interestingly, a couple of the, I'm not even sure if they are called ambilifts, but Val said they were, so let's run with it. A couple of the ambilifts going to the Bristol flight, was it, that's just arrived. Faru bro, welcome. How we doing, Simon Kirby? Welcome, buddy. Doing the housework. Tomorrow, today, welcome. Right guys, I think I'm gonna call it a day for now. Like I say, this was an unplanned stream. It's a bonus stream for you today. We will be back tomorrow with 2 hours of non-stop aviation chat and banter with all of us here at Airports Live TV. I've been Adam James. I hope you've had a fantastic hour with us. Hopefully you have a fantastic rest of the day. If you're in the UK, once again, happy bank holiday. If you're not, and you're envious of the bank holiday. Over in the UK, it's a bank holiday weekend in Ireland next weekend, remember. Take care, guys. We'll see you all soon. Don't forget to check out airportslivetv.com. Check out all of our partners. And once again, a big thank you to all of you. Stay blessed, stay safe, stay loved. Signing out now from Airports Live TV.